all of our aldermen are here. Ms. Bates is present on the phone. Ms. Bates, can you hear? Okay, great. All right, at this time, Pastor Brooke, will you lead us in prayer, and Mr. Powell, you lead us in the pledge of allegiance. Please stand.
May we all bow. Gracious Heavenly Father, once again we come before thee with a bowed head and humble heart. First to say thank you for all thy many blessings. Father, we thank you for this opportunity once again to be able to come together as a city, to handle the city business and make sure things are done decently and in order. We pray for every official, every employee, every citizen, every business that exists in this city, that we will be a city of brotherly love and friendly to one another and respectful. And Father, we just thank you for all thy many blessings. In Jesus' name we do ask. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you both for that. We'll now move to item number 3, presenting items. As a point of personal privilege, I want to recognize my son, Hill, sitting in the front row, and his new wife, Chloe, who are probably now very upset that I would recognize them in this meeting. They didn't tell me they were coming, and I just look up and there they are. So I'm sure Hill will let me know if I don't do it right. Thank you guys for coming. All right, item 3A is Miss Thelma Harden here. Miss Harden, you have the floor, ma'am. Why don't you come to the podium? You want to speak on April 8th through 11th as the week of the young child.
Yes, sir. Thank you all for giving me this privilege to speak with you all this evening. I addressed the Board of Aldermen and the mayor, asking that we declare here in Gluckstadt the week of the 8th through the 11th of April as the week of the young child. This is a national celebration that goes on all over the country, but it is becoming really, really important to me. I've been a child caregiver for 25 years now. And the older I get, the more important it is to me for us to realize the work that early childhood teachers do. They're sometimes looked over of all the hard work they do. But what I do know is when I talked to the Lord about it, he said, we are the beginning of what comes to the end. We are planting the seeds. And our vision at the Christian Learning Center has always been to produce self-positive young people who are positive contributors to their environment, their community, as well as good scholars in school. So I just think if we draw some attention to the several daycares here in our area and plant some ribbons or something on their doors just to recognize all of the hard work that early childhood providers do here in the city of Gluckstadt, that says a whole lot about who we are as a city. And thank you all for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Before the board is a resolution of the mayor and Board of Aldermen of the city of Gluckstadt declaring the week of April the 8th through the 11th as the week of the young child. I won't read it verbatim. However, I will touch on a couple of the high points. Whereas the week of the young child is a national celebration sponsored by the National Association for the Education of Young Children, held annually to honor young children, their families, and the early childhood community. Wherefore, be it resolved that the mayor and Board of Aldermen of the city of Gluckstadt as follows. The city of Gluckstadt does hereby proclaim April the 8th through the 11th as the week of the young child. The city of Gluckstadt recognizes the importance of high quality early childhood education and the complex, valuable, essential, and demanding work of early childhood educators, and encourages all members of the community to support efforts that increase children and families' access to high quality early childhood education. So with that, I would ask for a motion to adopt this resolution. Ms. Bates made the motion. Mr. Slade, I'm sorry, Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? All right, the adoption is, the resolution is adopted. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, Alderman Powell, 3B.
Yes, sir, thank you. If I could have Chief Davis and the fire department come forward, please. We're about to scoot
You got it.
we have to scoot the guys in blue out for just a second. You guys will come up here. Yeah. Y'all come up here. A good looking group we have here. So February the 17th through the 21st is Firefighter Appreciation Week. The city, the board, mayor, the citizens of Gluckstadt appreciate everything that you guys do, from putting fires out, saving lives, saving animals, and there's I know one fireman made ultimate sacrifice of giving his life in the past. So I appreciate y'all being out there and just continue everything that y'all do. So we have a resolution before, whereas firefighters dedicate their lives to the protection of life and property. Sometimes that dedication is in the form of countless hours volunteered over many years, and others is many selfless years working in the industry. In all cases, it risks the ultimate sacrifice of a firefighter's life. And whereas firefighters are vital to the public safety of our community and are likely to be the first people to arrive at and provide assistance during an emergency, whether it's a vehicle crash, structure fire, or a natural disaster. And whereas 24 hours, 7 days a week, and 365 days a year, whether it's a holiday or a loved one's birthday, there are men, women, and teenagers who are trained, equipped, and have the passion to put others' safety before their own to help those who are in distress. And whereas the demands of firefighting are accompanied by those personal and physical tolls that all firefighters knowingly accept while risking their lives to protect the lives of others. And whereas Firefighter Appreciation Week is a time where the community can recognize and honor the sacrifices that firefighters make to ensure that their communities and environment are as safe as possible, and a week in that which current and past firefighters can be thanked for their contributions. Wherefore, be it hereby resolved by the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Gluckstadt as follows. The City of Gluckstadt declares February the 17th through the 21st, 2025 as Firefighter Appreciation Week, and encourages all citizens to show support and appreciation to our city, state, and federal firefighters who protect our lives and property throughout the year, and to remember past firefighters who dedicated their lives to preserve the safety of the community. The Mayor and Board of Aldermen wish to express their gratitude and appreciation to the South Madison County Fire Protection District for selflessly serving the citizens and community of the city of Gluckstadt. Again, we really appreciate everything. Mayor, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt this.
All right, Mr. Powell makes a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that resolution carries. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Thank you for what you do.
Welcome back in.
Short people in the front. That'd be him.
What's the basketball?
Short in front. Double one. Keep going, keep going.
I already know.
Keep going.
I don't know if I can get below this.
Make sure you keep going.
I'm in this one. I mean, really?
Somebody scream fire.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it. All right.
Before we move to 3C, a couple of things to add. The Mayor's Youth Council is currently conducting a coat drive that will go on through next Friday. We'll bring coats here. Lindsay, where else can they bring?
The fire department as well as the police station.
Okay, fire department, police station here. If you've got extra coats that you can spare, mayor's youth council will take them. Also, the March of the Mayors, which is municipality-wide, all of the local cities are participating in this March of the Mayors canned soup drive through February 21st. You can bring your canned soup here.
Yes.
Where else can they bring?
The fire department and the police department.
Okay, so if you got that, certainly we would accept those and be pleased with it. So, all right, Chief Hale, 3C.
Yes, good evening, board, mayor, and everyone. I want to start off with Investigator Rob Parker. Since joining the Gluckstadt Police Department, Investigator Parker has played a vital role in solving multiple property crimes, seizing 6 firearms, seizing a vehicle, $14,000 in cash so far, and recovering 2 stolen vehicles from a local junkyard. He's also conducted multiple narcotics operations. He's proud of her dad, leading to the arrest of a well-known cocaine distributor. During the fourth quarter alone, Investigator Parker made 4 felony arrests involving narcotics and a convicted felon in possession of a firearm. He also made 8 misdemeanor arrests while actively investigating other crimes as well, since he's an investigator. He don't do just narcotics. Investigator Parker's hard work, dedication, and commitment to making our community safer does not go unnoticed. Thank you, Investigator Parker, for your service and unwavering commitment to protecting our citizens. At this time, we are proud to recognize Investigator Rob Parker as our Officer of the Quarter for the fourth quarter for his outstanding work, commitment, and dedication he has shown to our great city. Mayor and the board, with that coming along, our support has gotten so much better here in Gluckstadt. We love our businesses and our citizens. Well, that comes along a gift card from the Fuel Time for $100. We actually have 2 people here. Y'all stand up. Right on the sign. I didn't even put y'all on the spot. But thank y'all for that. Sullivan's donated a $50 gift card. Guns and Gear donated $150,000, not $150,000. He asked me about a $100,000 raise all the time. They donated a $150 gift card. Casey Bridges from Casey Can donated a $250 gift card from Guns and Gear. And Small Cakes, Miss Christie donated $25 from Small Cakes. Thank you. Congratulations. All right, Mayor, moving on. I don't want to hold y'all too long.
3D?
Well, we're gonna skip these 3. What is it, 3E? Yes, 3E, and then we'll do 3D.
Okay.
On January the 26th, 2024, at approximately 9 p.m., the Gluckstadt Police Department received a call of a drug overdose patient inside of a vehicle on Cali Road, just north of First Colony. Sergeant Kyrie Lucas and Officer Dwayne Montgomery, Sergeant Dwayne Montgomery, I'm sorry, were both dispatched and arrived on scene a short time later. Both officers observed a young female lying on the ground unresponsive with no pulse. They were informed by the passenger on scene that she had taken some type of narcotic. Sergeant Dwayne Montgomery immediately started CPR, while Sergeant Lucas stepped into action and administered multiple doses of Narcan, fearing this could be an opioid overdose, which it ended up being. Officer Montgomery continued with chest compressions until the Gluckstadt Fire Department arrived a short time later, and after multiple doses of Narcan being administered along with the CPR, the patient became alert a short time later and was transported to St. Dominic's for emergency care. In grateful recognition and sincere appreciation of your prompt and selfless life-saving action, Your personal initiative and prompt action resulting in the life saving of another is one of the highest obligations to humanity. Your efforts will serve as inspiration to others and especially the veterans of foreign wars. Therefore, Sergeant Kyrie Lucas and Sergeant Dwayne Montgomery, you are both hereby awarded the Veterans of Foreign Wars of the United States Life Saving Award and Medal. Thank you both for your service and dedication to our police department and our great city. We're not done with you. All right, last but not least. Over the past year, Sergeant Montgomery made 76 arrests, including 42 DUI arrests, also demonstrating his unwavering commitment to keeping our roads safe from intoxicated drivers. He also demonstrated his commitment to helping others by assisting with overdose victims that we just talked about. His dedication, his resilience, and commitment to protecting those who live, work, and visit our community is second to none. Every day he puts the safety of our citizens first, ensuring that our community remains a safer place for everyone. Thank you, Sergeant Montgomery, for your exceptional service and commitment. Your hard work does not go unnoticed. We are proud to recognize Sergeant Dwayne Montgomery as this year's Officer of the Year for the Gluckstadt Police Department and for your outstanding dedication to public safety. And with that, Mr. Hunter Sarton has been real generous to us. He gets a $500 gift card to Guns N'
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Sergeant Kyrie couldn't be here, Lucas, because it's got a 6 out. Okay. I'll get into it next time I see it. Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, at this time, let's move on to item 4, approval of the consent agenda. There was one small change in that the minutes were amended from last meeting. You've all, I think, been provided with a copy of the amended minutes. So the consent agenda would be, I would be asking for your approval of it, including the minutes as amended. Is there a motion? Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 5. Monthly budget reports. Those are really FYI matters. You guys can look at the various bank statements. We've got $4.5 million in the general operating public funds account. And the rest, I think, is self-explanatory. Are there any questions about either the monthly budget report or monthly bank reconciliations? All right, let's move on then to item 6A. MML made a request of us to consider a resolution supporting the federal tax exemption for municipal bonds. It was important to MML, and MML, of course, is a great supporter of municipalities, including ours. And I would ask that you guys adopt this resolution declaring our support for the preservation of the federal tax exemption for municipal bonds, which, as you know, are very, very important for the support of the financial well-being of municipalities. So is there a motion then to approve this resolution?
Make a motion, sir.
Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Ms. Bates. I've got you. Yes, ma'am. I got you. Thank you. Speak up now. Don't let me walk on you, okay?
I'm still sorry for the iPad in the background.
That's okay. We can't hear. All right, Ms. Ruth, item 7. Grants update.
the items that are, the new information is highlighted in yellow. 2 new applications, modifications. On the grant with the modification, we have been reimbursed for October's expenditures. And that will be updated on next month's. If we go down to the MEMA grant, the install of the generator is 7 a.m. this Friday, 14th. Any questions?
All right, so the 2 new grants that you're applying for, explain those to us.
Okay, the application has been submitted on both of these. That first one, the PTS, that's for fiscal year 2026, and it continues to supply personnel to the police department and equipment, which is what we've always gotten through them.
Okay.
The Road to Zero is a lighting project on Calhoun Station. It would be pole lighting, and it is from Gluckstadt Road to Church Road.
Okay, and do we know when those grants would be awarded?
Probably late summer on the personal, on the PTS. And there's gonna be more information on my last thing on the Road to Zero. They're one of the ones that are standstill due to the federal shutdown, so I don't have an answer for you on that one.
Let's go ahead and talk about that now, because I know that's an issue of some concern to you and to all of us, but you gotta be living under a rock not to know that there's been a little controversy going on in Washington, however you might look at it. You're concerned about the status of federal grant funding?
Correct.
Explain to us the status of that now, just so we all know and understand.
From my understanding, this does not affect our current money. So they're not gonna come in and tell Chief Hale, hey, you have to stop your PTS grant. What they're trying, or the stoppage that's affecting us is going to be existing applications. It's not gonna be current money. It's gonna be what we've applied for fiscal year 2026.
So for instance, the 2 grants that you've applied for, that is in a standstill. We don't really know much about that.
The Road to Zero is at a standstill. I have no official notification on the PTS. The only official notification I have on a freeze is your Road to Zero, which is your lighting project.
Okay. So we're just at a standstill. We just don't really know what the future holds in terms of federal grant funding.
No, and I do check in daily, more than once.
All right, any questions of Ms. Ruth at all about the grants update or any other questions concerning the status of the federal funding of grants? Let's move on then to 7B, the Mississippi Main Street information.
Attached to that, you'll see an email, and this is from the outreach director, Jennifer Lay. And she goes on to say, to respond to my question, do you have to be a full-fledged member in order to receive funding? The answer is yes. And it usually takes between 1.5 to 3 years is what she says. Your associate membership is $1,500 a year. So
how much?
$1,500 a year. So you would have to pay that for 1.5 to 3 years. But there's no guarantee, even when you become a designated member, that you will be funded. And
So what are the advantages of becoming a designated member?
you will be eligible to be funded.
Okay.
And the first year of designated communities is $10,000, second year $9,000, year 3 $8,000, and then it goes down after year 4. It goes down to $2,650 annually.
Are you familiar with grants that Mississippi Main Street has given other municipalities?
I simply looked at a list of what they've previously funded, and what they usually fund, I don't even know would fit in Gluckstadt, because it's things like Water Valley, the city of Water Valley. And of course, they have a downtown. It's usually small towns with strong downtown businesses, restaurants, festivals, what have you.
What's the money used for?
Anything from arts to festivals, promotions, things like that.
So
It's not, it wouldn't be a capital purchase type
so
thing.
we would be applying for a grant that might help put on some sort of an event here in the city.
Mhm.
And do our neighboring municipalities like Ridgeland and Madison participate in this?
I believe Madison does. I have not seen I don't know what kind of membership they have, and I have not seen a recent grant award to Madison from this particular source.
In terms of the grants that have been awarded that you've seen the list of, how much money are we talking about when a grant is awarded?
25 to 50,000.
Any other questions of Ms. Ruth about this Mississippi Main Street?
So would they come in, like, say Calhoun Station, we're trying to develop that, not necessarily a downtown area, but it's somewhat of a downtown area. Would they come in and partner with us, give us a vision and like create something for us, or look for us, or anything on that?
My research, you have to bring your ideas to them. And then, I'm sure there's some sort of back and forth process, but it's not something that they bring their resources in and say, look, this is what these people did.
Well, let's take for instance, if the city wanted to partner with the church on the German Fest
Mhm.
to further promote it, to try to build it and make it better and partner with the church, and we applied for a grant from Mississippi Main Street, that might be something that we could use the money for. Those are the types of things that they would
Correct.
fund.
But you're talking 1.5 to 3 years down the line.
I understand, you gotta start somewhere, if we decide to do it. Okay, Mr. Slade?
During that interim period, when you're the associate member, does the city have to do work, or is anything required on our, no requirement?
Yeah.
Okay, and then after that, it's 10,009, I guess it drops down to 1,000 or 2 minimum.
It drops down 1,000 a year until your 4th year, then it's 2,650 throughout your membership per year.
Gotta pay to play.
Yeah, I've seen some good things they did. It's large cosmetic, but it looks nice.
Ultimately, I guess the question then is this something that we want to do? Do we want to go ahead and become an associate member at the cost of $1,500 a year now? Is that something we can just send in the application and the check in now, or is there a period in which we can do
You have to
that?
send in the application first, and then there's an approval period. And then you send in your initial $1,500.
There's not a long-term obligation. I guess if we did an
No.
associate membership for 2 years, we said this isn't worth it.
No, there's no obligation. It's year to year.
Bottom line is, we're not gonna know from 1.5 to 3 years, we won't even be eligible. And then we might languish for years, several years before we know whether we get anything or not. So it would probably be conservatively 5 to 6 years before you really knew whether or not it was worth continuing or not.
And the other thing to look at along those lines, sir, is that this is a foundation grant, and foundation grants can change what they fund. So just because they're funded it this year, that doesn't mean 2 years down the line, they're gonna be funded as a festival. We'll continue with your example.
So you're still paying the money annually.
Okay, well, you guys make the call. Is there a motion to submit an application and pending acceptance of that application to spend $1,500 for year one?
I move we do.
All right, Mr. Slade made a motion. Is there a second?
I'll go ahead and move.
Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? All right, I count that as a 5-0 in favor. If I misstated that, please tell me. Ms. Bates, I heard you. Okay, that motion carries. So you'll submit the application. You'll get it to me if I need to sign it.
Yes, sir.
And,
This is for 1 year.
this is
1 year.
for 1 year.
For 1 year.
Only.
I think we should monitor what they do, and that way you have a pulse on what we might be eligible for.
Yeah, why don't you look a little deeper into what this Mississippi Main Street program has funded throughout the state and bring us some examples so that we're a little bit more educated about
I can do that.
Okay?
I'm looking at the website now, and it looks like Pearl is a designated member, and so is Clinton, and then the Jackson Ridge Development Authority is an associate member, and Flora is also an associate member in our area.
Okay. So maybe we can reach out to Pearl and Clinton and Flora and get some information from them.
Yes, sir.
Okay? Let's go to Mayoral Health Council 7C.
I have a guest today. This is Sheila Span. And she was basically the impetus behind the blood drive. We had people starting to line up before we were even supposed to open, so I would like to thank her for her work. We have a proposed meeting set for the 17th, which is next Monday at 3:00. That may change. And we have set a date for the 5K home run, and that is March 29th.
Okay, great. Man, thank you so much for your help. I hear the blood drive was a big success, and thank you for your involvement. Any questions at all or comments? Thank you, man. Thank you, Ms. Reed. All right, Ms. Kellum, item 8A.
Yes, I'll be brief. As my memo states, elections is at the bottom. Elections has taken up a good amount of my time lately with candidate qualifying, getting with the Republican Executive Committee as well as the Democratic Executive Committee on qualifying candidates, getting the ballot proofs done, which I did order the proofs for the Republican primary today, or the ballots for them today. Let's see. We have absentee balloting starting next Tuesday. So I'm in the process of trying to get all of the materials that we need ordered and here by Tuesday. So that's taken up a good amount of my time. Also, we do have the pre-port letter that will go out this Friday that legal has drafted and sent to me now. So I'll be sending those out to the industries, to file the exemptions by April 1st, as y'all requested. So that will go out by Friday. Scott and Janet are headed to training tomorrow. Did I say Scott and Janet? Chastity and Scott are going to training tomorrow, and Chastity will be starting her first class for her CMC designation, and Scott will be finishing his last class for his CMC designation. So he'll be graduating this summer, and that's really all I have.
All right, any questions of Ms. Kellum about her monthly update? All right, item 8B, privilege license report. I would assume that Mr. Ball doesn't have anything to add to the material. You don't have anything to add to the material?
No, the only thing that I would add is that legal has started sending out enforcement letters as requested. We've had a couple of businesses trickle in to pay their privilege licenses and get caught up. So we're sending them out in sections every week. It seems like a few more go out. So I don't know if Zach has anything else to add to that.
Sent out, there's 52, I think, sent out 25. So just.
We're staggering them.
Scott asked that I not send out 50 out at one time so that 50 people didn't come in on one time. So trying to stagger.
All right, thank you for that. Any other questions about the monthly privilege license report? All right, item 8C, you want authorization to add Mr. Mall to have read-only access to Gluckstadt bank accounts.
Yes, sir, and that's for bank reconciliation purposes. It'll help him to have read-only access. He won't be able to make transfers or anything like you and I will.
Okay, I certainly don't have a problem with it. Is this something the board needs to vote on?
Yes.
Okay, is there a motion for authorization? Motion. Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Powell seconded. I'll count you next time, Ms. Bates.
Okay, that's fine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, 2025 municipal elections update.
So that, my memo kind of outlines what I've been up to lately with all the elections, responsibilities that we have to get done by next Tuesday. I am requesting in this memo that we increase the pay for the municipal election commissioners as well as the poll workers. We have previously approved the minimum. They can get paid up to $200 per election. So I'm requesting that addition to pay them $200 per election instead of the $165 and the $125 that was previously approved.
Okay, so you want to raise their pay from 125 and 165 respectively to 200,
Yes, sir.
okay?
Obviously, it's a very long day for elections, and we want to secure some good poll workers that, that it's a long day for them, a lot of
Okay.
work.
Any questions at all about that?
Is this your request or has there been feedback?
This is my request in addition to the Republican Executive Committee. And I do have somebody here that's available to speak on their behalf if she wants to speak up.
Okay,
Ms.
anybody can
Colleen
speak if you like. Who's here to speak?
In support of the increase to the poll workers. She served as a poll worker before, so she may be a good.
I have served as a poll worker before, and I am serving on your temporary executive committee as well as the Madison County Executive Committee. $200 is what the county pays to get you good, seasoned, not fresh, green poll workers. They're used to the $200. They are there at 6 a.m. They won't get done until 8 p.m. It's a very long day.
Okay. All right, is there a motion then to adopt this pay increase?
Motion.
Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I've got you, Ms. Bates. Okay, you also want to replace Mr. Paul Hardy, who was a municipal election commission alternate, who is now qualified to run for alderman, to replace him with someone?
Yes, and I had requested from the board a nominee. I haven't heard any feedback. I know everybody's been really busy, but if anybody has a name that they would like to appoint in his place,
All right.
he now is qualified as a candidate.
Okay, does anybody have a nominee? If not, we'll table it till next meeting.
We can table it.
Anybody have a nominee?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I remember correctly that at the last meeting, these that were approved and appointed on the commission attend some training pretty quickly, and did that happen?
Yes, ma'am. So it's mandatory within 6 months of running an election that all the commissioners are certified by the Secretary of State's office, and they all did complete that training. We did it online Zoom, and some of the commissioners came here and sat with me, so I've got all the records for that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
What we need is one alternate.
Yes, that would be preferable.
What are the qualifications? You gotta live within the city?
Live within the city, yes, sir. And be a qualified elector of Gluckstadt, meaning you're registered to vote.
Okay, hearing no nominee, we'll table this until next meeting, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, let's go to AE.
Yes, so I've received a quote for election day. It's basically ES&S comes and they make sure that our machines are running properly. They do LNA testing. They'll be there for central tabulation at the end of the night. The county, is not charging us for utilizing their machines, at least to my knowledge. They haven't said anything about it yet. And I did talk to Ms. Anita Ray, and she said she didn't think that the county is going to charge us for use of those machines. But we do need to enter a contract with ES&S to make sure that it's done properly. If a machine goes down on election day, that would be the big problem. So we need to make sure we have a tech. I'm hoping we don't have to have a primary runoff, and that would save us some money, but I don't have a crystal ball.
Okay, and in your materials that you provided us, we're talking about $15,000 or $16,000.
Yes, and I have moved all the printing, so we do have $15,000 in contractual budget for elections. That will remain. All the printing and binding I've been taking out of my budget, just to kind of offset some of those costs, because I'd rather have good poll workers that we can pay well, as as have the tech on election day.
Okay, any questions about this?
The tech would assist with that if we approve this contract.
We need to approve this contract.
Yes.
All right, is there a motion then to approve the contract with ES&S consistent with their terms in their letter of January 29, 2025? Motion. Mr. Taylor made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconded. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? I've got you, Ms. Bates. Thank you. All right, that motion carries. All right, item 9A. Mr. Buckner is here today because Mr. Hall is a bit under the weather, so he's ready to step in for Mr. Hall. Governor, you've got the floor.
Planning, zoning, building permits that a total of 32 inspections. This month, there are 246 active permits currently, not including sign permits. That's pretty much it right now, without getting into the rest of it. We did have the P&Z commission, and we had 6 items at the P&Z commission.
Any questions of Mr. Hall about this? I mean, sorry, Mr. Buckner about this? Okay, let's move on then to item 9B. We're talking about the consideration of Brothers Tacos conditional use, Mr. Buckner.
Yes, sir. Brothers Tacos is on Yandale at the Shell station. Currently, the time that he needs to shut down is 30 minutes after sunset. He is asking for a conditional use in order to stay open longer after sunset.
How late does he want to stay open?
He did not specify. He just asked to be able to stay a little bit later.
Okay, this matter went before P&Z.
It did go before P&Z.
P&Z said,
I believe they voted it there. I'll scroll back and forth.
okay, consideration then of Brothers Tacos conditional use to stay open apparently for an indeterminate time.
And he also was not, no
Yeah,
representation from the applicant was present at the planning and zoning meeting as well.
Okay. All right, so I will call for, is there a motion to approve Brothers Tacos requested conditional use? All right, that matter fails for no motion. Let's go to 9C.
Mayor,
I'm sorry.
If we could either get a motion either to approve or deny.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let's hear your question.
So my question was, I was listening to the P&Z meeting, and it seems like, one, the gentleman's already staying open later than he's supposed to be staying open, and not abiding by the rules. My understanding also was he was supposed to convert it to using electricity and still using a generator, which is causing grief with local businesses as well as residents around the area as well. So I guess my questions are, how do we enforce that? And then also, my understanding is that a food truck should be a temporary facility. I mean, it's not there to, if you want to set up in Gluckstadt, well, let's open a storefront like every other restaurant does. So what kind of authority do we have to ask this gentleman that,
Can you answer Alderman Powell's questions about enforcement?
PD would have to be the one to enforce it. We don't have another way to enforce it. They would have to, see when sunset was right now, count 30 minutes from there, and if he's still open, issue him a citation.
This would be code enforcement, right?
No, right now it would
Be violation of the city municipal ordinance violation, so it would be, which is a misdemeanor.
Okay, so we would have to send the PD out to enforce that.
and what's the time frame for this gentleman to stay set up? Okay, is it unlimited? Because once again, I know we were in Maui some years back, and they had this cool little area that was set up, they had all these food trucks and everything, and it was really neat, and they're all hooked up to electricity. But it was something, an area that was designated for food trucks. Right? So I guess back to one of my original questions was, if he wants to have a restaurant in Gluckstadt, can he not just storefront rather than having a food truck set up?
more than welcome to make a spot, but
The issue with this particular food truck is I think he has a lease with the owner of the gas station, if I'm not mistaken, to put his food truck there. And his food truck has been there since before we amended the zoning ordinance and now have a standalone food truck ordinance. So he's grandfathered in, so to speak, to some of the old rules since he hasn't. But if he were going to request a conditional use and he would have been present, we could have put some additional conditions on his business. But since he is grandfathered in, so to speak, the only enforcement mechanism we have is to issue him violations for the zoning ordinance.
So on Thursday, when he pulls the truck away or pulls his food place away, he's left the venue. Do we not at that point say we've left your spot? So now
He has to cease the use of the food truck for a particular period of time, which is typically about 6 months.
Okay, well, I'd love to see our police department enforcing the headings associated with,
Okay, so
Alderman Paul, we do have a transient vendor license on file for this gentleman. So just for my office's purposes, I want to make that
So
clear.
listen, what we need to figure out between you and Mr. Hall is whether he is in violation of our rules. And if he is, you need to bring him into compliance. And if you need the police department to help assist with that, let's do that.
The only thing that could do is have somebody ride by and see if they're closed, 30 minutes, an hour after sunset.
Mr. Giddy, we may need your help coordinating some of that with the police department, but we need to enforce the rules. Okay, that's why they're there.
Yes, sir.
Before we leave the subject, I need to ask, is there a motion to deny the conditional use permit for Brothers Tacos?
make that motion, sir.
Mr. Powell made that motion.
That
was ridiculous. Is there a second? Ms. Williams seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And I discussed this with a couple of people. The question I have is, can we determine if they're paying sales taxes?
They have a sales tax form on file with us, so I believe that he has.
Okay.
Usually a transient vendor is for a period of like 90 days, that they can renew. I believe it's once, I think, for up to 6 months. And then they would file a regular privilege license after that point.
Okay.
So let me make sure I understand this. He's got a license to operate a food truck during set hours. And does he have that license to do that forever?
No, transients are short term compared to regular privilege licenses. It's
So how
usually
long
90
can
days.
you do this?
90 days.
90 days.
And then he could do it.
Keep
You
renewing
come
it
in
for
and
6
renew
months.
once for another 3 months, so it's up to 6 months.
So he can do it for 90, he can renew for another 90.
Another, yes.
And then after that,
I would think you'd have to file a regular privilege license.
Okay. so the problem you're worried about him and being grandfathered in, that's only gonna get you 6 months. After 6 months, the problem goes away. Okay?
Well, that's assuming he's in compliance with his waste and his electrical hookup and other matters that are gonna be monitored by code enforcement. And all that was discussed at the zoning meeting. This
Yeah,
is not, there's been some little bumps in the road with this particular.
I'm not to suggest
vendor.
that we can't close it down earlier, but all I'm saying is that the notion that he's grandfathered in, he's really only grandfathered in for 6 months, right?
Unless he got a regular privilege license. But if he files for a regular privilege license, then he still has his lease with the gas station. I think he can operate.
He's also
Under that
filed that
lease.
$1,000 fee with Williams' office, I believe. That's in the zoning ordinance.
Only when the ordinance was adopted and it was brought to their attention. And I think if, going back to the conversation with, Mr. Hall, if I remember right, they had to be contacted more than once and really encouraged to come in here and please get compliant, at least on this process.
On the
So
second.
there's, like I said, there's been some bumps.
I did just get a text from Mr. Hall, and he said that the food truck permit is valid for 1 year, and then you have to.
Food permit is good for 1 year, then you have to.
And that was several months ago that they had received it.
All right, well, what I said earlier, and Mr. Powell's concerned about enforcing the rules remains, so let's make sure they're doing that. Let's go to item 9C, consideration of the 342 Old Jackson Project 8 dimensional variance.
Yes, sir. This is gonna be a total of 3 lots that are coming in here. They're all C2. With the division of this lot, which is currently a house and a couple of shops out there, they're trying to have a couple businesses go in there. They're asking for a dimensional variance to decrease the width of the road frontage.
Any questions of Mr. Butler about this requested variance for 342 Old Jackson Road Project 8? All right, is there a motion to grant the the dimensional variance?
I move.
All right, Mr. Slade made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Williams seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Ms. Bates. I got you.
Okay.
Item 9D, 342 Old Jackson project B dimensional variance?
This is gonna be for a setback on the backside of the property. They are looking to reduce it, due to needing that area to get everything to fit. They're gonna have C2 looking like next door. They're looking to kind of get out of there as well, so they'll have plenty of space in there for everybody to visit.
All right, any questions of Mr. Buckner about this dimensional variance? Is there a motion for approval?
I move.
Mr. Slade made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Williams seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 9E, DNS Investments Wyndham Hotel Parking Height Variance.
This one is gonna be a Wyndham Hotel. They are looking to come in, but their height of their hotel is gonna be a little bit taller than what is in our current ordinance, and they're just asking for a variance to go a little higher. We have fire department, they have a ladder truck, they do not have an issue with it being any higher than what our ordinance states.
This went to P and Z,
This did go to P&Z.
and
They, voted to approve.
any questions about this requested height variance? Is there a motion for approval?
Motion.
Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconded. All in favor? Any opposed?
Fair. Hold on one second. Part of that too was the, parking variance
Yes, sir.
as well. There,
Okay, I am sorry. I skipped over the parking part. I failed to recognize that. As part of this, they are also seeking a parking variance because they want to put in less parking spots than we would normally require.
yes, sir.
How many fewer or less?
Current zoning ordinance requires 1.5 per room. Wyndham has 110 rooms, which require 165 spaces. They are wanting to put in 158 spaces.
So 7 spots less.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was my mistake. So let me go back up and recouch this variance. I'll ask for a motion to approve the requested parking and height variance. Give everybody the chance to revote. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion.
Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second on a question.
Ms. Williams seconded your question.
Believe this was discussed at zoning. Were you there, Zach? Or, council may be able to touch on this. The proposed second building on this parcel that might be a restaurant and or retail, that parking is not captured those numbers in what we're considering here, correct?
No,
There will be an additional.
Yeah, there's additional 50 for the retail space.
Okay, all right, just making sure that was cleared up, okay.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Mr. Slade, you got a question?
I talked to Mr. Hall and Mr. McGaw about this. P&Z proved it. It was, I guess, their understanding it was not being approved as submitted. It was approved contingent upon these people complying with the ARC, any ARC request requirements.
the site plan portion of
So that's gonna come in with that.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's 9G.
Next.
Next.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? All right, why don't we go ahead and go to 9G to consider the DNS Investments Wyndham Hotel site plan.
This site plan, there was discussion about the exterior design and they're gonna talk with the art board like Mr. Slay said. But as you see here, this is their site plan. They're looking to put a hotel and also a mixed retail building on.
All right, questions about the submitted site plan?
My question is for petitioner. Has anyone met with our art committee, architecture review committee yet? Mr. Sam or Mr. Spencer?
I've got, one of the developers here, Brian Sexton. I may let him answer that question.
Okay.
Sir, your name?
My name is Spencer Ritchie.
Hey, Mr. Ritchie.
I represent
Yes, sir.
DNS.
Very nice to see you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sexton, why don't you come to the podium and see if you can answer those questions? Any questions you might have?
The reason I ask is I know it was a short time frame from that meeting to tonight. And has anyone met yet to discuss that exterior?
At the conclusion of that meeting, I asked William how we needed to go about it, and he said he would put everyone in an email and we would get together. But I know that he's had some health issues, and so
We don't,
so that
you've not met yet?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's all I want to know. I know that meeting has to happen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Mr. Swain?
It does. The main thing a point I wanted to make was assuming we approve this, it needs to be subject to our approval. And that was their understanding as well. I just, the way this is worded, it's not subject to our approval, it's just being approved as is. And that's not what I think Mr. Hall and Mr. Gall told me, that wasn't the understanding. So as long as everybody's aware, and I guess it's in the minutes, we are approving the site plan subject to any requests ARC may have. Okay.
All right, so there is a motion then, as I appreciate it, or I will ask, is there a motion to approve the site plan contingent upon architectural review approval?
Motion.
Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconded. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Okay. 9F, Mr. Buckner.
9F is going to be discussion and consideration approval for rezoning for Betty Investments. They are looking to move their current liquor store that is located on Lexington Drive, and they're wanting to move it across the Gluckstadt Road, on the north side of the road, and have a standalone liquor store. And they're requesting to go from C1 to C2.
So this is a application for rezoning.
Yes, sir.
From C1 to C2.
Yes, sir.
Any questions about that?
So my understanding is, and I'll ask Mr. Beatty, so we're looking at, I know at the P and Z meeting originally was discussed with, the liquor store and then maybe a couple of adjacent retail establishments that would create a variance. But at this point, you guys are looking at just doing the liquor store only without the additional retail space, correct?
That's correct.
All right, so we wouldn't need an additional variance,
No
bringing it up, so, all right, very good.
So we're approving the rezoning and I guess with understanding that liquor store there, just the rezoning at this point.
So it would just be just the rezoning, because the rezoning was denied in the conditional use, therefore there was no public hearing on the conditional use. So they would still have to seek conditional use approval. So this is just simply rezoning from C1 to C2.
Okay.
Any questions?
And then without the variance, my understanding also is that C2 and C1, as far as the, I don't know if I'm gonna use the proper terminology, but the front of the lot size, and everything is in accordance with each other. So we don't have an issue with that like we had previously.
No, sir. As long as it's staying.
Okay.
All right. Single tenant buildings only have to have 100-foot lot width. If it's multiple tenant buildings, it would have to have 200 feet lot width. So if they were to, the original discussions was potentially having multiple tenant buildings, and so they would have needed a dimensional variance to have a smaller lot width. But it sounds like that's no longer the case. So it should be
Who talked to who to confirm that?
that's in the zoning ordinance. It's 100.
No. You mentioned, did you talk to somebody?
Mr. Betty is just confirmed it.
Okay.
We're not gonna be going for any variance. We're just going for a single tenants.
Okay, I'm sure I heard that
They're not
right.
gonna do the additional buildings that are in the back.
Okay, is there a motion then to approve the rezoning from C1 to C2?
Make that motion, sir.
Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed? Ms. Bates, did I record you as an aye?
I'm a no. Thank you.
Okay, she's a no. So 4-1, the rezoning is approved. All right, Mr. Buckner, thank you. You're, now on the hook for item number 10.
All right, 10A is we are asking for,
Chief, would you turn the air up a little bit? I'm sorry.
sorry, we're asking for the board to approve a project along Gluckstadt Road. We are wanting to eliminate, some of the concrete curb up to the MDOT state maintained right away, in order to increase the turn lane size to add about 8 cars that we can store in there to help with traffic flow. Currently, we have some bad driving that happens right there. We'd like to extend it a little bit further to add some capacity.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, okay, so we need permission to advertise to see what this is gonna cost us. It's gonna cost us
Yes,
more.
yeah, we need to advertise to see how much all of our initial, quotes that we've gotten have been over 75,000, so we need to do a bid for this project.
So Mr. Buckner is asking for permission to advertise for bids for this work.
Yes.
I'd love to make that motion, sir. All right, Kyle made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
I'm gonna call Mr. Taylor.
Pick up.
I'm having called Mr. Taylor as having seconded. All in favor?
All right.
I can tell by the eagerness of the board, we probably go out there with busting up ourselves. All right, item 10B.
This is for requesting the board to approve a final plat for the Meadows at Stout Farms. If y'all remember, this is the subdivision that is just barely inside the city limits. I think we have about 100, roughly 200 feet of the east side of the back lots is inside the city. Everything else, inspections, everything will be inside the county. We just need to approve this for clean it all up.
Okay, any questions about this request for approval of Stout Farms Part 4?
This is technically a parcel and some, right? These are all 5-acre parcels in that newer one. Do you know? Yeah, yes.
I think
those will be individual parcels once it's platted, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
There's 23 parcels in this section.
Nice.
And like I said, the back edge is really all that's inside the city of Gluckstadt from that line there. So all the houses, roads, drainage, water, sewer, everything is gonna be inside the county.
Are you gaining that too?
It is, it's already, the gate's already there.
Oh, we rode out there and it wasn't there yet. Good job.
All right, is there a motion then to approve this final plat for the Meadows at Stout Farms Part 4? Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Item 10C, approval of a road name.
I don't know if the board is all aware, the road that is beside Puckett and Long Green Storage Building that's over there currently is not it's only a private road. The guy who owns it is Mr. Hickston is looking to turn that over to the city. As a part of that, we need to confirm the name so that they can get it on a plat for us. They're asking the board to approve the name Titan Lane for this road.
Any questions?
I don't have a question about the name of the road. A question I had was, I know he's got to bring that road up to our standards.
Correct. They've already paved the road.
Okay. And I had read somewhere in here, I think it also involves like a retention pond.
There is a retention pond on the back end of this road. We are looking to get that done or designated as city property once they plat it so that we can maintain the drainage properly.
Okay, that's my question. And I know kind of how it works with streets. With a retention pond, I mean, going forward, I know there's maintenance involved, so that will be our responsibility.
Yes, sir.
What if we opted not to accept the pond? Would he continue to be responsible for that? I guess as long as he owns it.
Yeah, I mean, it would go to the developer. That's the discussion that we would have when the preliminary plat and final plats come forward. We can talk through that. We're going to get a drainage easement through there. And also on the side of the road, with bringing the road up to standard, they have to clean out all those ditches, culverts that are all in there. It has to be basically like a new subdivision that's going to be done and give it to the city before we can accept it. And that includes stop signs, road name signs.
Okay. All right, we're voting on a road name. Is there a motion to approve this as Titan Lane? Mr. Slade made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you so much for pulling double duty, Mr. Buckner. Chief Hale.
Thank you.
Good evening again, y'all. My general update, there went down. We had 206 tickets. We made 15 arrests since the last board meeting, 10 of those misdemeanor, 5 felonies, and 5 DUIs. We worked 24 accidents. We've served to date 234 warrants. A lot of people still not paying their tickets, so they get warrants and we find them driving down the road. 13 cases was taken to the grand jury. Our building, everything's still going great. We did find a leak today, unfortunately, we let them know about it. Thanks to Carrie and manager staying on top of our generator, they're going to install that now Friday. So we're gonna have to shut power down at the PD completely, probably all day Friday. So we'll have a generator, hopefully, and all that'll be installed by Friday evening or Saturday morning. And we got the sound system put in our courtroom, by the way, the best looking courtroom in Central Mississippi. So that's done. We got our metal detector installed. So now we have that. Update you on a few cases. I just want to let y'all know how hard my guys are working. Y'all know Jordan Lee Sullivan, right? The one who head-on collision and killed Miss Tyra Small. We all went and sat in the courtroom Monday. A lot of her family were there, and they've been very appreciative of us. They offered her a 20-year plea deal, and she rejected, so the judge gave her 23 years. Won't have to worry about her doing anything or drinking and driving and hurting anybody else.
Is that day for day?
No, ma'am, it's not day for day. Unfortunately, I wish it was.
Is it 50-50?
Lord knows, my thing is if you can't function as a normal person in society, we got somewhere we can put you where you won't hurt nobody. So I had to find out about that. We had a puppy stolen the other day from Fleetway. Less than 24 hours, we had the puppy back. We located it in Tallahatchie County. We don't play around in Gluckstadt. Puppy napping our auto burgers. We don't mess around. So we got a suspect identified. She's actually a dispatcher in Panola County. They come down here to go to the hospital, and on the way back, I guess they decided to get gas at the Fleetway and steal somebody's puppy. So
There were 2 individuals though, right?
there were. We're still trying to identify the driver of the vehicle, but we know exactly who the one that took the puppy. So, Mr. Kyler Seamster, I know y'all may not be the one who did the auto burglaries in Bear Creek. He finally went to trial. I think he pled, but he pled the charges for the auto burglaries and gun trafficking. And this guy got 15 years day for day. He was a non-violent habitual offender, so they gave him 15 years day for day. So he won't be bringing in nobody's car again for 15 years. One more I'll update you on. January the 29th, Investigator Parker tried to stop a vehicle northbound. It had a reported stolen and ran from him. He ended up wrecking out at a Nissan. We're able to get him after he ran into a ditch and complained about breaking his leg, which was not true. Charged him with felony loot or stealing stolen property, possession, paraphernalia, improper tag, careless driving, failure to comply, no insurance. And the only reason we didn't charge him more is we couldn't find anything else to charge him. Because Lord knows he deserved it. And I could keep going on and on there, but my guys are doing one heck of a job. We have one of the safest cities in Mississippi, let alone Madison County. So proud of them. I don't have anything else.
I think I was watching the news this morning and saw the sentencing of the lady who killed that motorist on the interstate.
Yep.
And they showed Chief Slavin consoling the family members of the deceased. That says a lot about our people. Makes me prouder than anything we do is when we.
And they even
Sure.
they put it on Facebook. Couldn't be more appreciative because we stuck with them through the whole thing. We talked to them, we kept in touch with them. Nothing you do can bring this small back, but, so yes, very proud of that.
All right, thank you very much, sir, and thank you guys from us all.
What about signs for the building? What's that thing?
Yeah, about that.
Huh?
I sent an email to that today and haven't heard back. So, yeah, every day there's something. We're gonna get there.
All right, at this time, we need to enter into closed session because we're gonna have to go into executive session for some personnel matters. So is there a motion for us to enter into closed session?
Move.
Mr. Slade made a motion. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're in a closed session. Thank you guys for coming.